Welcome, folks. I'm Jabby Kaway, joined by ACHARA KIRK.
What's up?
We are watching House of the Dragon, Season 1, Episode 2. If you're watching this on YouTube with us, you'll see a cut-down version of our reaction because we can only show you a limited amount of picture-in-picture. But if you want to watch the whole thing with us, uncut, uninterrupted, head over to our Patreon page, patreon.com/JabbyKaway. There's a link in the description below. Or you can become a member of this YouTube channel to watch the whole episode with us, but you will need your own copy of the show or a subscription to HBO Max so you can open up the episode in an adjacent window to our reaction, and it's like you're watching it with two of your favorite pals from the internet. Now, if you join our Patreon or memberships, you get access to a whole bunch of watch-alongs that we've already got up there, including ACHARA's first time watching Total Recall, my first time watching The Amazing Spider-Man 2 with ACHARA KIRK, Marvel shows, The Boys, you know, things you guys love. If you guys are watching this on Patreon or memberships already, thanks so much for supporting us here. If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button, bell icon, all notifications, and pretty please vote this sucker up. Let YouTube know you're enjoying what you're watching. Here we go. Growing up Catholic, I take that as a Catholic reference. Ooh. The nails.
Oh, he's still moving! He's still moving! No! Oh, no!
Ouch.
They are some meat-eating crabs.
In all of its history, my lord, the Seven Kingdoms have never entered open war with the Free Cities. Were that to happen, the losses would be incalculable.
What reason does the crab feeder have to fear us?
Fair.
I've sent envoys to Pentos and Volantis to see if we might find common cause. Ships and men are at the ready. The stepstones will be settled. In time.
You have dragon riders, father.
Uh-oh.
It isn't that simple, Rhaenyra.
It would be a show of force.
At least the princess has a plan.
Oh.
I only meant that we should at least...
Perhaps there's some better use for the princess's talents, Your Grace.
Wow.
Why don't you take the princess to see about the new King's Guard posting, Lord Commander?
A fine idea, Your Grace.
It's a polite way to say shut up.
Sir Desmond Caron. A fine knight, Princess. Step forward, Sir Desmond.
Oh, is the handsome knight going to be here?
Desmond has proved strong and steady in both the tourney lists and without. While traveling through the King's Wood on his way to King's Landing, Sir Desmond recently brought a would-be poacher to justice.
She wants the pretty one.
Yeah, I reckon. That's the one I was looking
Sir
at.
Criston Cole.
That's it! There he is! No crest, nothing.
Son of the steward of the Lord of Blackhaven.
Be welcome, Sir Criston.
I fought for a year as a foot soldier against the Dornish incursions.
I choose Sir Criston Cole.
Let's not be too hasty, Princess. Seaguard, for instance, is the realm's prime defense against reavers from the Iron Islands.
Those men are tawny knights. My father should be defended by a man who's known real combat. Should he not?
Yeah. Screw politics. Pick the hot one.
Let us plan Sir Criston's investiture then.
But also, clearly, the most suitable for the job.
Do you believe the Westeros can be another Valyria, Your Grace?
That depends whether you speak of the freehold at its height or at its fall. Over 1,000 dragons, a navy large enough to span the seas of the world. Glory of old Valyria will never be seen again.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh, foreshadowing.
So much foreshadowing.
The fall of the House of the Dragon.
Tell me, how is Rhaenyra? Well, these days she doesn't say more than a few words to me. I think she might find it difficult. I wish she would approach me.
What if you went to her?
There are times when I would rather face the Black Dread himself than mine own daughter of 15. You do not mention our talks to Rhaenyra, do you? I fear that she wouldn't understand them.
No, Your Grace.
It's like, yeah. My dad's talking to my best friend.
No biggie.
Yeah. That's not weird.
It's totally common.
It's super normal.
Like American Beauty.
Kneel with me.
That's going to be a really uncomfortable talk in several episodes.
Yeah. If they end up getting married, it's going to be super weird.
You know, you could have told me this whole time.
What do I say? Whatever you wish. It's only for you and the gods to know.
I really like the friend.
It's a lot to process. It's a lot to process.
Yeah.
Do you have a specific course of action to propose?
Join our families. Wed our daughter Lena. Unite the two great surviving Valyrian houses. You can show the realm that the crown's strongest days are ahead, not behind.
So the realm expects you to take a new wife sooner or later, Your Grace, to strengthen your line and produce more heirs. You could not ask.
Today at small council,
Paid no mind.
I thought I might have had some insight.
You're young.
But
You will learn.
That went well. What is that? Maggots? Oh. Oh no, his finger's getting infected. Ooh, just chop it off.
The maggots will remove the dead flesh and hopefully stop the advance of the rot.
What the fuck? Was that a thing?
Yeah. You also have leeches and stuff
I
too.
held an audience earlier today with Lord Corlys and Princess Rhaenys.
That was most charitable of you, Your Grace.
He's just chill the
Medicine.
He proposed a marriage.
To whom?
Uh-oh.
Your Grace?
Foiling your plans.
The Lady Lena. To combine the strength of our houses and demonstrate my reign's strongest days are ahead.
How are you gonna navigate this one?
What is your advice, dear Otto?
The Lady Lena is young, Your Grace.
Yeah, so's your daughter.
I do fear what Rhaenyra might think.
What does it matter, Your Grace? Her mother has passed. Her father must propagate the royal line. I dearly loved my own lady wife. The pain of her passing still haunts me. And to be compelled to replace her for duty's sake. You are the king, but I do not envy you.
What a tricky
Yeah.
bugger.
Oh.
What?
I mean, he speaks the truth, though. It's like, he has a duty, I suppose. Whoa. Okay, she's really young. Okay, that's real. I thought, like...
I
What was
thought
it like flying the Black Dread?
I thought she was like 15 or 16 years.
Your Grace, it would be a great honor to join our houses as they were in Old Valyria.
This is crazy. No, oh my god. This is so wrong.
Is that what your father told you to say? What did your mother tell you?
That I wouldn't have to bed you until I turned 14.
God, this makes me sick.
Yeah,
Oh.
it was a different time. Yeah. I mean...
This is the biblical thing, right? I mean, Mary was 13.
Yeah, in Romeo and Juliet, they were 12. Or she was 12.
But they were both 12. That dude.
Yeah, I know.
His new wife will produce new heirs, and chances are better than not that one of those will be male. And when that boy comes of age and your father has passed, the men of the realm will expect him to be heir, not you.
Wow, what is she trying to do?
Not sure.
they denied you, Princess Rhaenys. The queen who never was. But they bent the knee to me and called me heir to the throne.
Do you remind your father's men of that as you carry their cups?
Thought about that too.
Men would sooner put the realm to the torch than see a woman ascend the Iron Throne. And your father is no fool.
All right, let's create a new world order. Let's go.
Well, that would get her out of the responsibility that she said she didn't want.
True. I think she wants it now, though.
I brought you something.
Is it a new dragon?
Yes.
Oh, she's so thoughtful.
This is a very kind gesture, Alicent. Very kind.
Don't drop it again. Startled.
I love all the little looks they do.
Yeah.
I'm just like trying to read them all.
Your Grace, I've called the small council to an emergency session.
Why?
I think it best you hear it directly.
Very well.
What's happened now?
Patroxios sintroro macitas exis news. Masso Giunduna, Lodicchio e Lot Upidas.
Scorchidosa, Zetriso, Droman, Tomepsa, Ulirot.
Oh no.
Dariloros Daimon, Sicia Sidas, Eglivzeus.
Daemon.
The prince left a missive, which I believe might explain. To announce that he is to take a second wife in the tradition of Old Valyria. She is to assume the title Lady Missaria of Dragonstone. The prince has invited you to his wedding, Your Grace. It is in 2 days' time.
God's been good. Who is Lady Missaria?
She's a hooer.
Daemon has seized Dragonstone, has surrounded himself with an army of gold cloaks, and has now stolen a dangerous weapon.
Scorio Dromon, you baby. Scorio Dromon, Daemon Leitas.
Oh no. What?
Dromon hidrotso iles, Dariloros. Dariloro belo matsumbile, idrepte enkolo.
I will go to Dragonstone and drag Daemon back to face justice myself.
Daemon is without limit. Let me go to Dragonstone.
What's his plan?
I'm wondering.
To be able to take out his personal vendetta against Daemon?
I've assembled 20 of your best household guards, my Lord Hand. Tahara will also join us.
Please look after the hands, Superstar.
This is gonna be violent. That looks like the area where Jon Snow and Daenerys were hanging out when they were first, like...
Oh.
Banish your whore and leave Dragonstone by order of His Grace King Viserys.
Where is the king? I don't see him.
His Grace would never lower himself to entertain such a mummer's farce.
Sir Criston Cole, my prince.
Ah, yes, apologies. I couldn't recall.
Perhaps my prince recalls when I knocked him off his horse.
Oh.
Them's fighting words.
To choose violence here is to declare war against your king.
Wonderful.
Even if it ends in the death of your unborn child and its mother.
Uh-oh. Oh, shit. You should have brought a dragon. That's what you should have done.
Sheathe the fucking steel.
Oh.
What?
Oh, yeah. I was wondering about that. I was wondering if that was going to happen.
Oh my gosh. Whoa. I'm just gonna park right here. Don't mind me.
Siculant.
Razilari Tubi.
Why'd she walk away?
She doesn't like being used. Ironic. It's a little bit ironic. Like, come on.
If you wish to be restored as heir, you'll need to kill me, so do it.
Wow.
And be done with all this bother.
Come on, hand it over, dude.
He wouldn't, though. He cares about family.
He's not gonna hand it back?
Good negotiation skills, princess.
Little victory for her.
Oh, what are you thinking, Lord Hand?
Oh, he just got schooled and he doesn't like it. That's what he's thinking.
He's like, uh-oh, gotta watch out for that one.
I came to you to be liberated.
Liberated? From what?
Fear.
Interesting.
It's all tactics.
He wants to marry her, huh?
I bet. He's
If I'm gonna take a young girl, might as well take that one.
Yeah, she's so nice. She gets me. She's really kind. She's really sweet.
Yeah.
My daughter already likes her.
Yeah.
If you truly want my unencumbered opinion,
I do.
You should wed Lena Velaryon, Your Grace. Sate Lord Corlys and fix him at your side, permanently as an ally.
The princess has returned from Dragonstone.
Dragonstone?
Here we go.
Oh, you're in trouble. Grounded for life.
I expressly forbid you from going out. You can't take chances with your life.
You fled King's Landing without a word, and you acted without the crown's leave. You are my only heir. You could have been killed.
May I sit?
And by marrying again, I may begin to ensure that we are better defended.
Against whom?
Whomever may dare to challenge us, I do not wish to make us estranged.
You are the king. And so your first duty is to the realm. Mother would have understood this, just as I do.
I like her a lot.
Yeah.
So he's doing it, huh? Just because he gets married doesn't mean he's taking his eyes off of her.
That's true. He's the king. He can do what he wants.
I have decided to take a new wife.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Is he gonna choose?
It's gonna surprise everybody.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable.
I intend to marry.
Oh my god! That's what she's finding
Lady
out!
Alicent Hightower.
Shit.
Before Spring's End.
Yo! So uncomfortable.
Oh, super awkward. He's pissed.
This is an absurdity. My house is Valerian, the greatest power in the realm.
And I am your king.
Perhaps that was a bad move. Uh-oh. He's like, checkmate, bitch.
She's fucking with her nails again. She's like, shit.
Hello, Mom. That is awkward. She's like, a 12-year-old girl I could have understood. My best friend? You went too far, Dad. Too far.
Well, there's so many opportunities to tell her.
Yeah.
Unlike every other lord of the realm, I can say that I built my house's high seat with the strength of mine own back. I've always thought of you and I as having been made from the same cloth.
Is it the Crab King or whatever?
Oh, shit!
Hello!
I've been petitioning the king to send my navy into the territory, but he's denied me.
It was never my brother's strongest trade.
What?
Being king.
The Crab Feeder is backed by powerful entities within the Free Cities who wish to see Westeros weakened. Waiting in the Stepstones is a chance for you to prove your worth to any who might yet doubt it. We are the realm's second sons, Daemon. Our worth is not given.
It's taken.
It must be made.
Whoa.
This episode did a lot of what I like about, I guess, Game of Thrones and now House of the Dragon, which is largely centered around the political stuff.
Yes.
And the dynamics and the subtle looks and whatnot, the inner workings of everybody, the psychological framing, you know, trying to like exercise your frame over someone else's frame, just trying to like nudge things in your direction, like, oh, what do I want? I want you to marry my daughter. It's not even an option. It's like, no, you're doing this or we're enemies.
And it's not like they can be enemies outright. That's the fun thing about it. It's like everything is cloak and daggers, and you have to do it in secret and form alliances with other people, which is exactly what Corlys is doing with Prince Daemon, right? I loved watching all of those little looks and just trying to understand what was going on. Sometimes it's really clear what's going on in a character's mind at that moment, and sometimes it's not.
Well, Rhaenyra, when she was praying, I thought she was thinking about her mother.
Me too.
Yeah, and then she mentioned like the relationship with her father, and I'm like, well, it's probably both.
Yeah.
Which it is.
It's probably a bit of everything. And when, I forgot her name, but the Hooer, when she got upset and ran away, we thought it was something completely different. And then it's like, oh no, actually not. She's mad because now she's got a massive target painted on her back because she's his like illegitimate wife, plus having his illegitimate child, both of which are absolutely false. And she's like, great, I came here to be freed. I came here for liberation.
Yeah.
And you screwed me.
It just seems odd to me that it's like you've been around men and who are powerful, who want more power.
Yeah.
It just seems odd to me that you wouldn't suspect anything at all, like in the slightest. If I would expect anyone to sort of know what someone is thinking before they even realize that they're thinking it, I would expect someone like her to know.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like Shay in Game of Thrones was pretty smart like that, you know, and it totally makes sense because she was Tyrion's lady.
Matt Smith's acting, I mean, he's a good actor. We already know that. He's a really, really, really good actor, okay? I know, but I really appreciated his acting in this episode. I thought it was really good. You know, it was very measured. It's easier when your behavior is supposed to be outlandish and big, but in this, it was all a lot more contained and internalized, and it's just like these expressions and the slight look in the eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just, what is this character thinking about? It requires a lot of restraint to be still and not do much and communicate everything through that.
Absolutely. I mean, I think they were doing this all throughout the episode as well.
Right.
So that part when Princess Rhaenyra came back and she's like getting scolded by her dad, and she just goes, can I sit? And
nonchalant,
his facial expression right then was just amazing, because it was just that moment of like, wait, that was not the response that I was expecting. This is very different. Like, who is this? She's supposed to be my child, and she's just come in here cool and breezy and just been like, I'm gonna sit down now.
Yeah,
you know?
but it's like Damon said, this is just not his area of expertise. What's not? Being king. I was like, whoa, that's actually a really good line, because I wasn't expecting that to be the thing. I thought it was gonna be a lot more specific, but it's just in general, he's not good at ruling the situation.
Yeah.
He's not good at ruling the room, not even with his own daughter. Straight up, he was trying to lecture her, and she's like, yo, can I just take a seat? Because like, I just got off a dragon.
Yeah.
You know, there's a whole ride all the way from, can I just sit down? Is that
But
cool?
also, like, you can't treat me like a little kid anymore.
That's true.
I just went there and I negotiated with my uncle without shedding any blood.
Yeah.
Look at me, what a cool diplomat I am.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, okay, right, yeah, I guess I didn't realize that you'd grown up all this time.
I thought it was so stupid when the hand gave, he revealed his cards. When he looked up at Corlys with that expression in his face, like, ha, I won, bitch. I'm like, why would you look at him that way? Like, have you learned nothing? You're supposed to be the smart guy in the room. You're the hand. Like, you're like, why don't you know? Like, you don't fuck with anybody, especially in these Game of Thrones.
Right.
You know, it just seems to me that the best thing you can do is keep your cards close to the chest and be cool.
Ultimately, he was really smart because he played it very sly, you know, and I think we can learn a lot about him as a character because he basically used his daughter to infiltrate the king's heart in a very sneaky way, because he didn't even realize that it was happening and that was the ulterior motive there. He just thought, oh, Alicent is this really lovely girl and she's very kind and sweet. She has those similar qualities as my dead wife. She makes me feel comfortable. She makes me feel like I have a friend and a confidant here. And then boom, you know, he chose with his heart. And that's what I love about this show and Game of Thrones, is because the repercussions of the choices that you make are major. And so he has set in motion his downfall, probably, because now he's got a powerful guy, Corlys, planning against him, plotting against him, and he's joining forces with Prince Daemon. Like, who knows what's going to happen now? It's just all going to come apart, and it's going to be awesome.
Well,
to
it's
watch.
like you said. I mean, he sealed his fate because he thinks with his heart and not with his brain. You can just see that in his behavior and the way his character's written and whatnot. Like, the only reason he chose someone that was unwise from a strategical standpoint. It just doesn't make sense to choose her. It's not actually benefiting your kingdom. It's just benefiting that wound in your soul from losing your wife. She bears a slight resemblance in terms of her character to your wife.
Yeah.
And that's why you chose her. It's like, it's not a good move. You're not thinking like politically or strategically at all, dude.
Yeah.
And now you probably just like sealed the fates of not just your kingdom, not just your position on the throne, but probably a lot of people who are now going to die because of you, fighting for you.
And it's hard. It's hard to be a king, and they talk about this a lot, about your duty, right? It's like, he's not just any man. He is a king. He is expected to take a wife. Making a strategic alliance is much better than a love marriage. Then you ensure the safety of the realm, and that is your job as a good king.
It should be your highest priority.
It should be your highest priority, and it kind of sucks because then your human desires as a person, as a man, that's all pushed to the side. It's not often that you actually get an alliance where you're like, oh, I actually really love my wife. It's just hard. It's hard to be king, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
It's very interesting to me that the first episode opened up with such violence and then this one had like none. I try to always think of like what the producers and the writers are thinking about.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, so they had to front end with this to get you hooked. Now they can just like go through all the political drama and whatnot. like,
right.
For a while.
Yeah.
And so it makes me wonder, like, okay, so how many episodes is it before it's gonna get crazy violent again? Because I was fully expecting like all-out bloodshed to happen when the hand, I thought the hand might die.
Yeah, me too. When he volunteered to go, I was like, dude, did you just volunteer to die?
Yeah.
You know what their history is. You know that those two characters despise each other. And
Right.
I don't know if it's just like with a sense of almost mutual respect. Well, you're doing this thing, I'm doing this thing. We both kind of hate each other, but I kind of respect you at the same time. Or if it's just completely, I hate your guts and I'll kill you if you ever come close to me. But talking about the lack of violence, they did give us 2 dragons in this episode, which was pretty cool.
And it was that's expensive. I really appreciated Rhaenyra's character in this episode and her growth. Like you've told me multiple times that Daemon is George R.R. Martin's favorite character in all of Game of Thrones and whatnot.
Apparently, yeah.
Apparently. It's kind of biased because he's written him most recently, right? You're supposed to love whoever you're married to right now more than anyone you were divorced from.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So he's been far enough removed from the previous books of Game of Thrones, having written Daemon most recently. Of course he's gonna fall in love with that character and be like, oh, he's the best of all the Game of Thrones characters. I'm saying this having only seen 2 episodes with, Daemon. My favorite character right now is Rhaenyra. It's interesting to me, and maybe it's a relatable factor of like being that young person who is sort of beyond your own years, and you're trying to, express yourself. You have some sense about you, some wisdom about you, and it could be useful if people would only listen to you and maybe apply what you're saying.
Yeah.
And then you have to sort of force it and go, okay, fine, I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about, and then you just do it. And I think that's cool. Like I felt her victory with her in that moment when the egg was tossed back to her. And she had this like look in her face, like this smile, and it's like a smile I identify with so much of like, fucking yes!
I did it!
Yes, exactly. No bloodshed. I did it.
Yeah.
And like that's a W for her.
Yeah, she's definitely a badass, and she's young and I guess hopeful and naive, and she wants a lot. And then you have Princess Rhaenys, who's just like, listen, they don't want women to rule,
right?
And she's cynical, and so it's kind of interesting to see those two together in that moment. And like I love all of that acting where it's all underneath the surface. It's like a battle of wills, if you will, and it's just really fun to watch.
So let's wrap this up with a bit of a prediction, because I haven't read any of the book. So
I've read like a few pages.
Oh, so I mean, because the king's obviously like kind of.
He's on his way out.
He's all heart. He's kind of weak-kneed, He's not gonna last.
No.
And so with this new alliance, both Daemon and Corlys are gonna want the throne, right?
Yes.
So they remove the king from his seat, but then now they're gonna be at odds with each other. So then what happens? Does Daemon then team up with Rhaenyra and they run off and then now they have this weird relationship with each other? Like, you fucking got my dad killed. You know, like, or does she end up on her own with the dragon until she can do essentially what Daenerys did and build an army somewhere else until she can come back and fight for the throne? I'm just sort of wondering what the ultimate trajectory is here. Because I realized as I was watching the episode, I'm like, okay, just like with Game of Thrones, this is the beginning, because it feels so small and intimate at the moment. We're dealing with just a handful of characters, and then I reminded myself, like, well, as the show goes on, it's just gonna start attaching a whole bunch of characters like leeches or something.
Yeah. Like maggots on a rotting hand.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just like it's all gonna suction together and be like a lot more complicated than it first appears to be.
Yeah.
And there's gonna be way more characters involved. So I'm excited to see where this goes. I actually like this episode more than the first episode. I know that it builds on the first episode, but I thought for me this was so much better than the first episode. I liked what it did.
Yeah, definitely. Just all of the subtext and the acting and in the situations was really interesting, and all of the subtle looks that people were giving, and I loved that about this episode. And so yeah, like you, this was a lot more entertaining to kind of get into
and dissect.
Yeah. Like, it's completely got me hooked, and now I'm like, okay, I have to see where this goes next, because like you said, I mean, it could go either way.
Having seen what happened in this episode, I think that the Hand is going to survive whatever fallout happens.
Oh, he's probably a cockroach.
I think that his daughter's going to die, though.
Oof.
I think both King Viserys and his daughter, and then his wife, are going to die, and the Hand is going to survive, and he's going to end up having to work with Rhaenyra. These are like stupid, loose predictions. Anyways, you guys, thanks so much for hanging out. Hopefully you enjoy this. I'm Jabby Coy. This is
ACHARA KIRK.
Peace out.